All right, so the first thing I want to say to myself and everyone out there is that we should never lose sight of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in every era in which there is hardship, there's more rahmah. Rahmah increases. The ahkam shar'iyya never change. The rulings of our deen, they don't change. But the rahmah that comes down and the forgiveness that comes down always increases. So that's something that we have to realize and recognize when we're thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thinking about our states and our Islam, is that the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal, it is always increasing upon us. And the harder things get for us and the more difficulty that we have, the more that we should know that the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal is upon us and coming down on us in increasing forgiveness and increasing mercy. So that's something that I want to start with. But secondly, and I'm sort of becoming friends with some of you people. I see all the same people on Twitter and on Facebook and on all these sites. And I've always said it, that when the Muslims use social media, it's oftentimes really useful. It's really constructive. It's a lot better than other communities in that you get to know people, you have a lot in common, and you have serious things in common as well. Not just minor things. You have the most important things in common. So these relationships that are virtual end up becoming more substantive than what you often hear from the larger society, that you're a bunch of strangers. Yeah, you do have trolls, but I'm starting to see the same people. And in order for us to have any type of bond that's any use, what we should be doing is connecting on matters that are eternal. And nothing is more valuable to a person on Yawm al-Qiyamah than his hifz of Quran. So what we should be connecting on and encouraging each other on is this great good, which is hifz of Quran. And so that's the second point that I just wanted to open up with. The first point is never to forget the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal is always increasing in times of hardship. Okay, always increasing in times of hardship. The ahkam shar'iyya do not change. However, the rahmah is always in a state of increase. Okay, so that's the first thing that I wanted to say. The second thing that I wanted to say is, just to recap for those that are just joining us, is that the relationships that at least I'm forming with some people that I see on a regular basis on these social media platforms, okay, is that our relationship is meaningful, even if it's virtual, if we're connecting on something that's eternal. And from those things that are eternal are knowledge in general and hifz of Quran in specific. Okay, and this is why we're actually I'm taking the initiative, and also Ali, who you see Ali's name on the thing, Ali bin Saad, he lives near me, so we work together on these things. And one of the initiatives we're taking is that we want everyone to know Arabic enough, at least to read Quran and to start getting through classical texts, so you don't have to rely upon a translation. Okay, of course, translation, we all still rely upon translations, but Ali and myself will be teaching Arabic. I will be teaching them through videos, but Ali will be giving the live tutoring. Okay, and we're talking about Arabic from scratch. We're not talking about Alfiya. We're talking about Arabic from scratch, that ultimately we can get you to the Ajrumiyya level, where you could actually open up a classical text and start reading it. And Ali will take it from scratch, private tutoring, and we'll have some classes, which we will announce next week. Not this week, but next week, and people can sign up for that next week. In the meantime, and in between Ali's classes, you could watch the videos that we're putting it up, and I'll just type it in here real quick. Okay, the name of the website where we're uploading all these videos. Okay, and this is really the amal that we're able to give to the world, which is to try to connect people to the Arabic language through these prepared videos and online tutoring classes between myself and brother Ali bin Saad, the Tunisian. So hopefully, this is amal that will be a cause of the forgiveness of our ma'asi, of our sins. And that's the only intention that any of this da'wah is being done. I'll be honest with you. The number one intention, if there's any other intention, I don't understand. The number one intention is that this is the kafara of some of our sayyat, that we're not able to thank Allah and behave properly in this world, okay? And that hopefully that Allah has given us some interest in knowledge, so we learn something, and hopefully through that learning we can be forgiven. All right, by doing that learning, by teaching what we've learned, that we could be forgiven for our indiscretions and our wrong actions. And honestly, the more that we pump classes on the Arabic language and emphasize the Arabic language and memorization of Quran, okay, and being busy with this book, the better off we will be as individuals, and then our families will be, and our communities will be. And if hundreds of thousands of people are doing these same basic things, then the whole ummah will be in a state of increase. Okay, so with that, those were the 2 points that I wanted to bring up as my opening nasiha, I guess you could say, to myself and to everyone else. But I wanted to begin with Surah Al-Hujurat.